Hey everyone, it is Howard the Workout Man again. Last video was about best gyms in Toronto. Believe it or not, today's video is about best gyms in Florida. So I live in Florida half the year and Toronto, well, really 8 months in Toronto, 4 months in Florida, maybe 5 and 7, because I hate winter. And this is now going to be like the sixth or seventh year that I've been doing that. Every year when I'm in Florida, I've tried different gyms and I've experienced different gyms and I've loved most of them. So let me tell you about it. I think I've been a member of 90% of gyms in Florida, in South Florida, to this point. So I have a place in Hallandale, which is between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. However, I did rent in South Beach last year for a change, and I've stayed in Fort Lauderdale for a change also. So why don't I first start with the closest gyms to Hallandale, and then I will move my way to both other South Florida towns. Not only that, just in commuting, I've tried different gyms in Florida. They have great gyms, let me tell you. So first, some of the gyms literally blow me away. Compared to what we have in Toronto, we have some okay gyms in Toronto. Florida's a whole different level. Hallandale. Like I said, Hallandale is in between Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and it's a smaller place. So most of the gyms are not in Hallandale. However, there is one. There's two. So the first one was called G Gym. G Gym is one of those gyms where there's no staff. You just access the place 24 hours whenever you want. It was only about 2 or 3 years old when I joined there. Techno gym equipment. Really nice, really cool. Stereo's amazing. You can play whenever you want when it's empty, which it was sometimes. Only maybe 100 members, so maximum number of people was 15. Negatives, they're missing some equipment, but honestly, for a quiet gym like that, not very much. It was really cool. Most of the people there spoke Russian. That was maybe a negative. I don't speak any Russian, so there was really no friendship building at all. Could have a little bit more cardiovascular equipment, but overall, it was fun, especially if you join with a friend. I give that place a 9.5 out of 10. Close to Hallandale also, there's a gym called Fitness Time. It's a bigger old school gym, which I like. They had a CrossFit area. It's in a cool little plaza that has a bunch of restaurants. So location, first of all, was a 10 because there was stuff around you. You could eat right after. You could do the groceries right after. That was cool. Equipment was getting older, but I like that kind of stuff. So if you don't mind that, that was good. I liked Fitness Time as well. It was a different vibe than G Gym. I'm going to give Fitness Time a 9 out of 10. G Gym just had a bit more flash to it. Now, when I'm rating these gyms, I want you to know that my comparative base is still quite high. So if you know what Good Life is in Toronto, I would give that, sorry, Good Life, on average, probably a 5.5 out of 10. If you know what Planet Fitness is, which I'm sure you do, I'd probably give that a 5 out of 10. So these gyms are both way, way elevated from any of the standard commercial gyms, which then brings me to LA Fitness. That was somewhere in between Hallandale and I guess Golden Isles. That was a terrible LA Fitness. It was in desperate need of renovation. Even the staff told me that. I don't understand why, but the squat rack didn't face a mirror. The only squat rack that had a safety didn't face a mirror. The other squat racks didn't have safeties. It was a mess. It looked worn. The equipment was worn. They had all the old hammer strength that I liked, but it needed a serious revamp. There was a track that looked like it was going to fall down onto the gym floor. So it had plenty of equipment. You could definitely train there. The squat rack was a problem. I have to say I did not enjoy squatting without a mirror. It's weird squatting without a mirror. It's like you're trying to center yourself and you can't tell. So I actually give that LA Fitness a 4.5 out of 10. It was very cheap. In Howard language, it was free. I think it was $35 for 1 month or something like that. And you could actually go to another LA Fitness and they wouldn't really care. So that was good. But that's the worst LA Fitness I've ever been to, besides one other one. There's another LA Fitness in Florida. I got lost once with my friend, and it was in North Miami, I think. It was like going to jail. It was a mess. It was during COVID. Dumbbells were everywhere. The place is way, 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 way too packed. There might have been 300 people in a normal size LA Fitness at one time. It was just, it looked very low end, and it just was not it just did not feel good being there at all. There was at least a basketball court in that gym, but it was much too busy, and it was just a mess. Everything was a mess. It was old, and I would probably not go there. I guess I'm talking to you about LA Fitness. The LA Fitness in South Beach is actually very nice. So I will say that LA Fitness is beautiful. I think it's the only LA Fitness in South Beach. It's in Brickell. That's a beautiful gym. 10 out of 10. No, it's not really 10 out of 10. So compared to the other two gyms, I probably give that a 9. A 9 also. Okay, so where else did I go? In Fort Lauderdale, I trained at Powerhouse Gym. Powerhouse Gym was incredible, really incredible. The vibe is incredible. It's got this, the people are training hard, but yeah, it's also kind of young and vibrant, and the equipment's newer, it's big. I loved it. It's in Galleria Mall in Fort Lauderdale. I really loved it. I'm going to give that whole experience a 9.5. That was great also. And they have almost every piece of equipment, almost, I think you could want. Also, in Fort Lauderdale, it used to be called World Gym. I don't remember the name anymore. It's a very hardcore bodybuilding gym. It's very small. It has lots of hammer strength equipment. I happen to like the old hammer strength equipment. I also kind of like the vibe, but it was very, very, very bodybuilding. The cardiovascular equipment is not very good. Some of the stuff is old. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, but most people would only give it probably a 6. But for me, it was an 8.5. I like it. It's old school, and it kind of suits my needs. If the cardio was better, it would definitely suit my needs. Let's move from Fort Lauderdale. Those are most of the gyms that I can think of that I've been to. And let's move on to South Beach. So I was a member of Anatomy in the Roni, which is in the one hotel where I stayed. It was fancy. It was nice. It suits a certain demographic. Dumbbells only go up to 85. Staff is, for the most part, pretty cold, but it's clean. They have cold towels. They even have a CrossFit area. The equipment was pretty good. It was newer, which was nice. They had some newer hammer strength. If you want a fancier, more like what's it called? That high-end chain that starts with an E. Anyways, if you want a fancier chain, and you want pretty good equipment, it's right on the beach. It's right in the Roni. It's actually really nice for anyone in the mainstream, I would say. Cardio equipment was great. For them, it's a 10. For me, it was a 7.5. I liked certain things about it, but I definitely would have liked some more equipment. They were missing some basic stuff like a normal preacher bench and heavier dumbbells. I would have personally enjoyed, but there was something very enjoyable about it also. So that was good. I trained there for about 2.5 months. Then I joined Elevation. Elevation had 3 locations. I went to 2 of them. So one of them was on Alton. Equipment, phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal. It's Gym Leco, which I had never seen before. All new. Maybe the gym was 3 years old. They had everything. They had a standing plated shoulder press that was unilateral, that was great. They had overhead tricep press where you're lying down, which was great. I loved it. It was very quiet when I went. Very, 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 very quiet. They played this terrible Spanish music in the morning. It's terrible to me, but it's not. I do like some Spanish music. This was just like, it sounded like you were at a Spanish flea market all morning till 11:30. And then sometimes they played fantastic DJ music, but in the morning the music was not that good. Equipment phenomenal, very quiet. I would actually give that gym also a 9.5. It was maybe even a 9.75. It was great. I went to the other elevation, which is it's close to Wynwood, I guess, between Wynwood and Brickell. That gym was packed, but beautiful people at that gym. Beautiful, like better than any nightclub. It was a bit crazy, but kind of fun to be there. A lot of Instagrammers there. Actually, it was very fun to be there. So the equipment, to me, I like the equipment better at the other elevation. Most people would like the equipment better at the Brickell elevation. Also, that gym was a 9 3/4, just because it was fun to be there. You really couldn't. For me, anyways, I couldn't complain very much. Just a warning to anyone mainstream who goes there: it's a very, very, very juicy gym. There are more people who take drugs than people who don't, and you should just know that it can be intimidating, and it may not be everyone's cup of tea. If you don't like that atmosphere at all, if it bothers you, then go to Anatomy that I mentioned before, which is in the One Hotel, or any other Anatomy. The whole chain is appealing to more of the middle crowd. Other than that, just some gyms that I visited in passing. I did go to Redcon in Boca at one point. They have every piece of equipment in the world. Again, more juicers than natties. So, more juicers than non-juicers, but it's fun to be there. It's professional bodybuilders there. The cardiovascular equipment's terrible, and literally people are so open about taking drugs. People are talking about it in the changing room. They're talking about it in the gym. It's a little bit strange. It's almost bizarre to someone who doesn't sort of come from that universe and isn't used to hearing that kind of talk. But it was fun to be there, and they have all kinds of equipment, all the old school equipment. A little bit too busy for my liking, honestly, and maybe a bit too juicy. I'm going to give that gym an 8.5 out of 10. Nonetheless, I think those are all the gyms that I've been to in Florida. I've never been to a Planet Fitness in Florida. In South Florida. If I go out of South Florida, which maybe I'll do another video, I have been to a bunch of gyms on the other side, closer to Orlando and that kind of thing. I've been to at least 5 gyms there as well. And if I really think about it, I bet I've been to other gyms in South Florida. Maybe I'll get back to you with another video later. You can put a comment if you have any comments about the gyms or any questions. Have a great day. Cheers.